Pakistan is continuing to grapple with scenes of devastation across the south of the country, where weeks of flooding is believed to have killed at least 900 people. These images on Friday show the streets of Fazilpur heavily inundated and buildings partially submerged, with flood rescue and relief efforts underway. The destruction of infrastructure and breakdown in communication links had added to difficulties faced by authorities conducting rescue and relief efforts. On Friday, Pakistan's Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif visited the southern province of Sindh, which faced the vast majority of this damage. During a press conference, he lamented the devastation he had seen.
When the plane was landing just now, I looked down with great concentration. It looked like the angry waves of the river Indus had spread across the whole region. The flood of 2010 was a very huge flood in our history, but I feel that this flood has caused much greater havoc.
On Thursday, the country's climate change minister called the situation a climate-induced humanitarian disaster of epic proportions. Since mid-June, when the monsoon began, over 1,800 miles of road, 130 bridges, and 495,000 homes have been damaged, according to the National Disaster Management Authority. Pakistan has appealed to the international community for help as it struggles to cope.
The water reaches as far as the eye can see, submerging villages, roads and bridges. The deluge has claimed nearly 1,000 lives in Pakistan and affected millions, prompting a government minister to call it a humanitarian disaster of epic proportions.
We lost our houses, we lost our buffalo. We want tents and financial support from the government. Our children are sick and we are drinking dirty water.
Pakistan has been battered by downpours since June, a month earlier than the typical start of the monsoon season. The Prime Minister, here visiting those affected, has blamed it on climate change, and his ministers promised government help.
The Prime Minister has announced that our top priority is to support flood victims with financial support first, and will provide funds as much as we can.
And funds will be needed to rebuild what the water had destroyed, like this historic hotel swept away by the torrent in the northwestern resort of Khyber. Luckily, it was empty at the time, but thousands have been marooned by the floodwater, relying on food drops by the army for survival. And this scarcity of food has caused outbreaks of illness among children.
As monsoon rain started, expected diseases increased, especially in children. Gastroenteritis, skin diseases and malaria are most common. And one of the main reasons of these outbreaks is a shortage of food.
Pakistan has declared a state of emergency and asked for international help. But meanwhile, millions of people still live in misery. Milena Veselinovic, Sky News.